by train.
Oh, how long is it going to take?
It's almost 5 hours.
Hilang. Do you know there's a faster train than yours?
What?
Have you ever wondered what it would be like if a train could fly? Not by just taking off into the clouds, but by soaring just above inches the ground at the speed of an airplane. This isn't science fiction. It is Maglev technology. Maglev is short for magnetic levitation. It is an advanced transportation system that fundamentally changed how we view high-speed rail. Unlike traditional trains that rumble along on steel wheels and tracks, a maglev train floats by removing the physical contact between the vehicle and the track. We eliminate the primary enemy of speed, which is friction. Maglev trains apply this concept on a massive scale. We use powerful magnets to create a repulsive force that lifts the entire train off the track, and an attractive force that pulls it forward.
The main component used in the system is electromagnet on the train, magnetic coils along the guideway track, and also a power supply system to provide current to generate magnetic field. These components interact with each other to lift the train above the track and keep it stable during movement.
Electromagnetic train. For this project, you'll need a spool of copper wire, preferably around 20 gauge, a AAA battery, 6 neodymium magnets that are just wider than your battery, a dowel that is just wider than your neodymium magnets, and some tape. Start by taping one end of your copper wire to your dowel. Then spin your dowel to create a very tight coil of copper wire. Keep turning the dowel until you have at least 4 inches of tight copper coil. Stretch your copper coil out just enough so that each loop doesn't touch the one next to it. Split your neodymium magnets into 2 stacks of 3. Orient them so they repel each other, and then stick each stack to an opposite end of the battery. Slip your assembly into your copper coil, and you should see your battery zoom across the tube.
This system functions through 3 magnetic action in Maglev train. First is levitation. Electromagnet on the train interact with magnet on the track, creating a strong magnetic force, which is repulsive. This force lifts train about 1 to 10 centimeters above the guideway, allowing it to float without touching the track. Second is guidance. A second set of magnets help to stabilize the train and keep it perfectly centered on the track. This ensures the train doesn't move sideways and remain stable even travel at high speed. Third is propulsion. Instead of using traditional machines, the Maglev system uses linear motor, electromagnet on the guideway, creating a magnetic field, also known as a traveling magnetic wave, which is continuously pull the train forwards along the track.
You guys know how importance of maglev trains to the world. So basically, they provide a faster and efficient transportation system, reaching speeds of over 600 km per hour and reducing time travel for long distance journeys. This makes the trains faster, smoother, and requires less maintenance.
Alia, what is the difference between the common train and Maglev train?
There are so many. Wow! Maglev train float using magnetic forces, while common train using wheels on tracks. Since maglev train have no contact with the track, there is almost no friction, which makes the trains more smoother and quieter. And thus, in the terms of speed, maglev trains are much more faster, reaching over 500 to 600 km per hour. This allows them to cover a long distance in a very short time. Meanwhile, common trains are slower and usually limited by tracks and friction. So overall, maglev trains are more faster, smoother, and more advanced compared to normal trains. Also, maglev trains are more environmentally friendly because they use less energy and produce a lower carbon emission compared to the normal trains car, and plane.
As a science student, we don't just study how things work. We also look at how our faith and science connect. First, let's look at the Nakli in Surah Ar-Rahman, verse 7. Allah says, "And the heaven He raised and imposed the balance." This verse tells us that Allah created everything in our universe to be in perfect state of balance. In our Akli or scientific study, we see this balance when the Maglev train floats. For the train to stay in air without touching the track, the forces must be equal to 0. This means the magnetic force pushing up is perfectly balanced with the gravity pushing down. If these forces weren't balanced, the train couldn't float. A Maglev train is a perfect example of this. It shows the beautiful balance that Allah has placed in our world.